Gillingham from the 3rd Division held 1st Division Everton to a goalless draw at Goodison Park and could so easily have won. Andy Cooper reports.
Just a light training session for players this morning, although manager Keith Peacock was still keen to get the best out of them.
Well played, Phil. A little bit of movement around the outside. That's more like it. Come on, good. And again.
There's plenty of confidence at Gillingham after that draw at Everton, and for defender Steve Bruce, time to reflect on what might have been. He could have scored a hat-trick.
Well, I think the first two were corners from the right. I think Dave Mimmet swung them over, and I just fortunate to get my head on the end of a couple, and they were cleared off the line. And then the third one, I think Terry Cochran took it, and I think it was a near post, and it was a bit of a scramble. It somehow come off the bar and come back into play, and that was that.
Bruce did come very close, as we'll see in a moment, but it was Everton who threatened first. The commentators, Elton Welsby.
Sheedy just touching it back in, Gray's there. It's come to Sharp. He hit it well, and that was a good save by Fry. And here's Irvin, who is also having a good spell up to this match. He's not seen too much of the ball, but that was a good one to Heath, who's got the crossing. Gray, and off the line. Well, you don't come much closer than that. Gillingham have defended well, although we've seen little of them as an attacking force, but let's see what they can do now. 5 minutes to go to half-time. Mehmet with the corner. What a good header! Off the line, I think, from Harper. Possibly a Southall save, but my money's on the fullback. Cochran. What a good effort! Oh, and that was just inches over the top from Terry Cochran. So Gillingham really mounting the pressure in the dying seconds of the first half. In fact, we are in injury time. Crowd behind that goal reacting if they'd already scored. And they have now, have they? And another corner, and how on earth did that stay out? Final whistle, Gillingham have got themselves a replay. Great consternation at one end of Goodison Park, but marvellous scenes of celebration at the other.
Well done, Gillingham. That replay is not all ticket, and gates will be open at 5:30, so please do arrive
But
early.
there were two absentees from Gillingham's training session. Defender Mark Weatherly, carried off in the first half on Saturday, is definitely out tomorrow. And fullback Brian Sparrow needed 3 stitches in his foot at half-time. He played on in pain and is doubtful.
Doctor reckons 50-50, as long as I can get some feeling back into my toes before tomorrow. I might have a chance. No, I can't feel my toes at the moment. No.
And other stitches going to stay in if you play? Or?
Yeah, the stitches will be in. Yeah, I just have to pad it up and try and run on it. If I can run, I've got a chance.
Today's draw for the 5th round brought little enthusiasm from the players.
Number 13, Everton or Gillingham.
Go down.
Number 5, will play Shrewsbury Town.
What a nightmare draw.
And Everton are one of the big sides that are left in the FA Cup, and it's up to us to try and complete the double of pushing Merseyside out of the FA Cup in the early stages, and that would be fantastic if we could do that.
And there'll be a big crowd tomorrow as well.
I expect it will be absolutely brimming, and if they make as much noise as the 3,000 or 4,000 did up at Goodison Park, then there's going to be a tremendous atmosphere here, and I'm sure the whole town are looking forward to this game.
Everton may have ended goalless, but it was a game with thrills and incident. Gillingham in the dark shirts were on top from the start, and some bustling Tony Cascarino set up a shot for Lee. But Neville Southall made the first of many important saves. More Gillingham pressure and a bad back pass by Kevin Ratcliffe. Leslie nipped in to steal the ball, but his shot was kicked off the line by John Bailey. There were signs of panic beginning in the Everton defence. South clear, and when the ball was for the box, Cascarino volleyed inches over. Still, the chances fell to the 3rd Division side. Mel Sage's cross was headed down by Steve Bruce, but Leslie was thwarted again by Southall. His only shot on target in the first half came from Kevin Richardson, and it was easily saved by David Fry. More frustration for the Gillingham fans in the second half. Terry Cochrane fired in a fierce volley, only for the goalkeeper to tip the ball onto it. Cochrane just couldn't believe his luck. At last, Everton began to get into the game, and from Kevin Sheedy's cross, Graham Sharp headed just over the bar. And was still creating the better chances, and Leslie forced Southall to make yet another fine save, this time at the near post. And the Gillingham keeper, David Fry, was also having him. Adrian Heath shot, but Fry saved at the second attempt. Minutes later, Fry was relieved to see a sharp header skid just past the post. So, no goals after 90 minutes, and a chance for the managers to call for one last effort. And with only 5 minutes of extra time remaining, Gillingham had the chance to produce yet another shot in this year's FA Cup. Cascarino was left unmarked with 50 yards between him and glory. Only Southall to beat, but the Welsh international capped a magnificent display by blocking the shot and keeping Merseyside in the cup. Southall then looked on as his side came close to breaking the deadlock. Kevin rattled the bar, Alan Irvine had his shot blocked, and Andy Gray belted the rebound into the crowd. So it ended 0-0. Gillingham fans were delighted with the result, and even more pleased when they heard their side had won the toss with the second replay back at Priestfield. How did the two managers feel?
Had a thrilling cup tie. Are you disappointed though you didn't win it?
I'm disappointed we didn't win the toss, yes. We had chances on the night. Gillingham had chances. Our keeper was in good form, and also the Gillingham keeper. But it was better than a 0-0, most certainly. It was a tremendous cup tie.
Now, with 2 minutes to go, Tony Cascarino had the chance of a lifetime, really, didn't he?
Yes, I felt for him there, because who wants the ball from the halfway line with no one but the goalkeeper coming at you after you've run about for 118 minutes? He got that chance, and unfortunately the keeper made a good save. I mean, you can say he missed it, but the keeper made a good save on that, and that goalkeeper is something special.
He is indeed, and Gillingham will pray that he's not in quite such good form come Monday night.
The FA and the VAT man have benefited from the Gillingham-Everton saga, which ended last night despite early pressure from Gillingham, playing from left to right. Tony Cascarino was the first to threaten. The big striker was desperate to erase the memory of his extra time miss last week. Into the gale force winds, Everton goal kicks had to be a joint effort, and Southall did well to even get the ball out of his area. Gillingham hustled and bustled in midfield, and when they won the ball, Mehmet, Cochrane and Cascarino combined to stretch Everton's defence. But the First Division side were coping well with the almost farcical conditions, and after nearly 4 hours of cup-tie deadlock, Irvine, Reed and Gray combined to give Kevin Sheedy an opening. The Everton fans were celebrating again within 6 minutes when Adrian Heath made it 2-0. Still, Cascarino looked the biggest threat to Everton, but Southall was having another fine game. An error by Russell Musker led to Everton's third goal, beautifully taken by Kevin Sheedy. Three goals within 11 minutes, and Gillingham's cup dreams were over. In the second half, they never really bothered Southall, but to listen to their fans, you'd have thought the Kent side were 3-0 up. It ended. After the game, I spoke to Gillingham's #1 fan, ITV Soccer's Brian Moore, who's a Gillingham director. He could still look on the bright side.
Although we've been beaten, and we've been beaten by a good side tonight, in many ways we've won, because we've brought, I think in the last 10 days, more football excitement to the Medway towns than maybe in the last 10 years. And I thought it was terrific where the crowd were cheering right to the end, and the players kept battling right to the end. But I think it was a question, really, of better players making better use of bad conditions. The wind was absolutely horrendous, as you know. But I think overall it's been a very, very good 10 days for Gillingham Football Club and for the people of the Medway.
You must be disappointed, though, that such a marvellous cup tie had to be decided in these conditions.
Yes, I mean, yeah, I think the only way we could have it going on is if the stand had blown down. At the times the wind was blowing so hard, I thought that was going to happen. Yeah, I mean, it was sad because we'd matched them, there's no doubt about it, at Goodison Park and on the first game here. They'd had more of the game, but we'd made the better chances. And we'd matched them in so many ways, but we just didn't get a grip on things tonight. And 3 goals down at half-time, and there's really no coming back from that.
I suppose it's just as well that Gillingham didn't reach Wembley, otherwise there'd be a dilemma who would do the commentary there.
There wouldn't have been a dilemma. I should have elbowed everybody out of the way to make sure I did it. People always say that to me, you know, you'll never be able to do commentaries on Gillingham, but in a funny way, if anything, you bend over backwards to pay more attention to the other side. It would have been the proudest day of my life if I could have done that at Wembley. And I really believe, I think it was Chris Catlin of Brighton who was saying, one of these days a third division side is going to get to Wembley. One of these days a third division side will get to Wembley in the FA Cup final. Fingers crossed it's Gillingham.